Imagine a big, dark whaling ship bouncing through ocean waves with a pyre of black smoke coming out of it. These whalers are manufacturing whale oil at sea. They are a moving factory. Rocky Mountain trappers who trapped in brigades were a moving factory. And I want to talk about that a little bit today and try to build you a visual picture of a working fur trapping brigade. They're traveling through the mountains to get beaver. So they're setting traps, these men under company employment, and pulling the beaver out of the cold water and wading the cold water to get these beaver for their pelts, which are to satisfy a fashion demand for proper men's hats. They need a lot of them. The beaver in the 1820s and 30s were a major currency in our country. So large and expensive efforts were made to procure them from the Rocky Mountains and the regions where the beaver, kept its habitat. A brigade of men might be as many as 30. And they go into a mountain range and they pick a drainage, a storm drainage, water drainage. That's an area where all the water starts here and ends up in a major creek. Well, beaver like those little tributaries. So the men are moving through the tributaries. There's a main camp somewhere. There are people whose sole purpose is to keep the camp, to keep and do work that supports the trapper's efforts. The trapper catches the beaver, he skins it, probably on the bank. He brings the skins in. They need to be fleshed off. There's men who are using fleshing beams and skinning all the gristle and fat off of these skins. Just imagine the smell of the beaver fat. Maybe the beaver fat by the fleshing beam is this tall. It's a hump of beaver fat. Okay, so everything is greasy. Everything it smells like beaver. Well, at the beginning of the season, when you first start pulling beaver out of the water, you need willow hoops. The beaver were stretched on willow hoops to get them perfectly flat. And a beaver skins out naturally round or kind of oval shaped. So they'd make a hoop of willow, which is easy to bend, and secure maybe 2 or 3 willow sticks to make hoops. Hoops be in different sizes depending on the beaver that you're going to put on it. But you make the hoops for the first beaver that come out of the water. Now you have beaver in hoops. It may take a number of days for the beaver to dry enough that you can take it out of the hoop. So you're transporting, if we're going to move, Osborne Russell says in his journals that it's like 8 to 10 miles a day, a brigade would move from drainage to drainage through the mountain system to catch the beaver. So all this stuff is moving all the time, like the whaling ship. The whaling ship doesn't stop moving unless it's in port. Well, port would be St. Louis. Otherwise, this beaver is always moving. So with your pack animals, this is an animal conveyed system, would have, as you move drainage from your early trapping, you would have wet skins still drying on the hoops. You've got hoops that tomorrow we can take the beaver out. It's ready to be folded and put into packs. And we're still catching beaver. So for the early part of the season, we're still making hoops. Until we finally have enough hoops, we don't have to make any more. But visualize a string of mules and horses with pack saddles on them, and both sides of the animal are stacked up with hoops with beaver in them. If the trapping's good, you probably never have empty hoops much. to transport, but probably some. As the skins come out of the hoops and get folded and baled, then they become packs. So if you have chosen not to cache or hide for safekeeping your packs of beaver, you now have lots of animals moving with finished packs, more animals with hoops with beaver on them in various stages of drying. And this all moving all the time. And I would envision at the end of the season, when they shut down for winter, that they just ride off and leave a pile of empty hoops on the ground. They don't need them anymore. They probably won't last outdoors till next season. You're maybe not even coming back here again. They're now dead weight, so they're gone. Those furs, once baled, finally go either to Rendezvous to be sold there, or they go to a trading post like Fort Hall or Fort Union, Fort Laramie, someplace where there would be a buyer in-house to get those furs and ultimately get them on a keel boat or a pack train and get them back to the settlements where they could be marketed and made into men's fashionable hats. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on this visual movie, a movie I can't make other than with words, to have some thoughts about how a brigade would move through the mountains as a manufacturing effort. This is Bill with Bill's Historical West. For now, watch your back trail.